This whole thing is full of bullshit, and I just don't. No, I just don't get that, man. So 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 they might sentence him. He might get a slap on the wrist, but we don't know because everybody already celebrated anyway. Somebody said, "I hope he gets the electric chair." No, he's not gonna get that. That's not what they had him on trial. They only had him for manslaughter 2 or something like that. That's not gonna give him that. Maybe he gets 40 years or something. He can't get any type of. But even then, he probably still not gonna get a lot of time. If he gets another time, it still won't be good enough. You know that other guy. The other guy. I forget the guy that shot the dude in the back. He's already appealed for another trial. They rejected it. But they always think they can get off. And the Botham Jeans, that girl, she's trying to come out too. She's gonna come back and try to get that sentence. That sentence probably gonna get cut down. And all these another thing we got going on is that people always chasing money. They rather have money than our freedom, and they'll get money for their freedom, and that's going to always keep the oppressor in charge of the situation. You always gotta take. You gotta be on the take. Everybody's on the take. What the fuck, man? I thought we had some leaders. Every time we could have a leader here, she speaks well. Tamara Kamali speaks well. Then you find out she might be on the dang going take, man. Folks are always on the take. This is what's ruining a lot of us, man. I can't stand this stuff any longer. I'm just speaking from the heart because I don't have my stuff written down today for this show. I don't. But, I don't like people want to take. Why are we always in? I guess we just don't have anything else going on as far as our money is concerned. If we're not on the take that way, we always he would have professed being self-sufficient, always do this do for self thing, and then they end up trying to get people to give money to them, and they end up really taking money from the people that need to keep the money the most, need some money to end the most. They take from their own. So that pot's going in. What's up to Sid Jack? He's in the chat room chilling with me. I need to get out this, to send more notifications out. But he tried to do that through the there you go. The posting in the paint. That's gonna be good right there in my podcast chat. Send. Okay, so I just send out more notifications. Hopefully it works. If it don't work, I'm gonna have to do it through my phone. A lot of times it's just hard to get these things. It's as a Strictly Ghetto and the Everyday People show. They don't have the whole thing going on like the rest of them guys. Some guys got sound bites out of the day. My sound bites that I had on my board just end up disappearing, and I gotta work for my pad. And a lot of stuff I do is from the heart though, and I hope my heartfelt message is what matters most. But that damn trial ended up fucked up. That trial was fucked up, man. They ended up. I mean, it was ended up probably going what we think is right, but what the overall feel of the people's reactions I didn't like. I didn't like the reactions of my people because they were crying and stuff, and they had so much emotion and stuff. We hang our emotions on every verdict and every trial. I don't know. I think that why I don't like the emotion and the crying and stuff is because it's almost like we're still attached to caring about what the white person thinks. We probably believe that by that guilty verdict that we believe that in some way they finally see us as human or something. I'm probably be wrong, but that's what I was feeling. I was like, y'all crying and stuff. Or did you would never, I never thought that I would see that verdict. I never say that stuff. I never say I never think that I would see anything. I never say I never think that I saw a black president, because I just never say never with that. I believe I'll see anything. But folks just they cut things off from their mind. They cut things off from their mind and their heart so they can accept it or something like that. But I never say it can't happen. It can happen. But the reasons that it happened is all messed up. These folks they've been doing this stuff for a long time now. They have pictures with them smirking as they look at my ancestors hanging from the tree. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. So I don't expect them to have any heart or any opinion. Most of them won't have any heart or empathy for you, for me, for you, for any of us. They simply can't. And this goes down from this trial all the way down to this NFL draft that happened. This NFL draft happened and people was escaping. This is their form of escapism. Is the NFL sports is the form of escape for us from the everyday reality of life. And a lot of us go through a lot of shit. The racial mistreatment and is one of the biggest things that we go through in life. The abuse, the abuse mentally from it, and stuff's got to be said about that. But we always like to watch the draft. We see these guys. These so-called experts they put in there. They got usually have a couple white guys saying, they get to track who's going where, who should get where, how talented the players are, what they have, what kind of pros they have, and the cons they have too, and we accept their assessment, and when we a lot of us do. A lot of us repeat everything they said verbatim, and then if we don't see them do it, we go look on the draft. We look at what the other scouts are saying, not even thinking that these guys are the same biased motherfuckers that was watching this our ancestors hang from trees and shit, that's their ancestors smirking at our ancestors hanging from trees. But they have the same mindset that they have now. We are their entertainment. We are to be their supporting cast and never to be the star. And I guess we forget that. We forget that many of us are on the bottom. They always bring up that excuse to get black folks. How come we don't say we don't have money? If all our entertainers, why don't they come together and put their money together into one big pit, and then they could create money? It's like all them niggas that be playing in football are coons. That's what you're watching when you watch the NFL draft. You're watching possibly. There's a good chance that 80 or 90% of them are going to be the next person that's going to be shuffling and samboing. If you see a guy with our skin color, our skin tone, he's going to be shuffling and don't believe me? Okay. Did you ever looked at the show of the TNT NBA show? They had this big 7'1" guy named Shaquille O'Neal, and he's pretty much always tap dancing. Another tap dancer even been doing it longer than him. The guy that was a freaking force, the round mound of rebound, and he was such a force that Chuck D put out the line that he'll throw it down your throat like Barkley. Well, Barkley ain't got none of that. Is soft as baby doodle for these white folks. He got a soft inside for them, and he's willing to throw your ass up under the bus at no cost. and he knows that he's going to get on more shows because of that. But and there's got to be somebody to take Barkley's place. That's why they have NBA drafts and stuff. And when those guys' NBA careers will be over, you'll be seeing a lot of them probably shuffle dancing with them along with the rest of them. Because mostly that's what athletes are good for after their career is done. They always got to have money, so they always got to kiss ass. And they got to even put their nose, they got to find a white ass to put their nose in between. They got to put their nose between their crack, and they got to kiss it. Reason is because that's how they get their money. They're used to getting money. They're not used to getting money. Trying to create money. Trying to get money on their own. So they have to depend on also getting, all the people come to their get some signings, and many black folks always overlook it and look past it. They think he's a nice big smiley guy, Shaquille O'Neal, and not knowing that if your child, if your loved one is end up hurt, killed, God forbid, hurt or murdered at the hand of these police, this is the guy that's going to back them up and speak that bull crap to them. And speak and carry the words of the oppressor. Matter of fact, they work for the oppressor at the oppressor's network, TNT, all those stations, ESPN, CNN, MSNBC, Fox Sports, all those stations. You're basically an ass kisser, and even Shannon Sharp to some degree is an ass kisser too. Just because he might say a good word or two to stand up for Farrakhan, don't mean he won't throw Mike Tomlin under the bus. Doesn't mean he won't throw Lamar Jackson under the bus. He will. See, you can't go 100%. I can't go with wishy-washy people. I need to know that you are burning hot for this thing, and you're not going to back off no matter what. The trial verdict, I wasn't satisfied enough with that. I definitely wasn't satisfied with the politicians that went up. They don't feel like they got to put out any laws now because the trial, they got the guilty verdict as they wanted and stuff, and they don't feel like they have to do anything now. Chauvin being found guilty was the exception, not the norm. That's what Sid Jack said. This is Sid Jack. And there should be thousands of cops in jail right now if this was a fair and just country. That's what I'm saying, Sid. It is. It would be a fair, if it was a fair and just country, there'll be a whole bunch of cops in jail right now. But now they don't feel the need to do anything about it. We keep voting in these Democrats and these Republicans. Well, I ain't vote. We don't vote no. Most of our own people we back is the Democrats, and they're not really in the opposition towards the Republicans. We need a direct opposition from the Republicans, not a Democrat, because the Democrats are. This is how I see the Democrats. You ever go to? You ever been robbed in some way? They have like these cheating ass games in New York where they called 3-Card Molly, where they have somebody fake winning and then the other body behind them, and they setting up people so they can rob them. And you think that other people, the person that won the game, was actually a real winner of the game, but he's working with the guys that helping to rob everybody in the game of 3-Card Molly. Because if you've seen this, you know this stuff happens all the time. If you've seen games like this, or you ever see somebody get robbed, but they don't do it with guns. They distract somebody from the front. The Republicans are like that. They distract people from the front, so that you think that, they're the only ones you got to worry about. Those are the criminals that you have to worry